I'm Justin Rose with Bushido MMA, and I'm making a video to explain about our bully beatdowns. Of all my content, I get the most comments on the bully beatdowns. 95, 98% of it's very positive. It's people that see the benefit in what we do and teaching kids actual scenario fighting and actually what to do. There's probably about 5% of it that I get some clown that doesn't train, that lives in his mom's basement, that just gets on TikTok to talk smack about kids and what they're doing, calling it bullshito and all this stuff. First thing I would say is my address is listed public. My doors are always open. If you ever want to come in here and test it, try it, see what you got, show me how much better you are, you're welcome, okay? Let me move on to positive things. So what I do with a bully beatdown is we use a very squishy, soft glove. I mean, it's not like an MMA glove, and it's not like a boxing glove. Even boxing gloves have a harder hit. So the first thing that I get a lot is, oh my God, you should be protecting those kids' heads. You're going to give them brain damage. These gloves do not do enough damage. There's just too much cushion. They can hit pretty much full power freely. And we occasionally get a busted lip or a busted nose, but it had to be a square, good shot. So the rules and the purpose of the bully beatdown is to put a jiu-jitsu player on one side and a bully on the other. The jiu-jitsu player is going to put his skills to the test and make sure that what he does works, that he can use it in a fight, not in a tournament, not in sport, not in a rule setting where both kids are doing the same thing. Then I take the gloves and I put them on one kid, and that kid is the designated bully. That kid's job is to throw hands, to just be as mean and aggressive as he can be, and yes, punch in the face, yes, try his best to make that other person quit or tap. That's what he's trying to do. That keeps the scenario real, okay? So we got one guy that's allowed to do jiu-jitsu. They can do their takedowns, their throws, their control, their submissions. We only allow chokes to keep it safe. You can't have your kids out there breaking kids' arms in fights. Parents talk a lot of smack on TikTok about what they would do and about my kid could break. You break someone's arm and you're looking at a lawsuit from that bully's parents, you know, and that's just the reality of it. If not, it's something on their record if they're older. So we try to encourage them to beat the bully in the nicest way possible with a choke. Upon my guidance, they are allowed to do arm bars. If I feel like they're out there and they're giving it everything they got and they're just not able to pull it off, then I give permission to do arm bars. But again, we try to use the arm bars as a last resort. The other thing that we do is when we get someone down and we get on top of them and we're trying to turn them over, the kids have figured out that if they turn over, they're going to get choked. But by instruction, they're supposed to act as a bully does. Watch 3,000 videos of fights on YouTube, and you will see somebody that when they're on their back will flip and turn over. Everybody in jiu-jitsu knows this. Everybody knows that people on the street will turn over in an instant. All you got to do is slap them and they'll turn over. Now, if you've got any kind of training, you know not to give up your back. Nobody in a jiu-jitsu gym is going to turn over and give up their back. I understand that. I get a lot of comments on it. Well, that person willfully turned over. That person's job is to turn over as fast as they can and get up. And a lot of times you'll see they turn over and they flip the person and they get back up. Sometimes my kids do a great job. Not sometimes, most of the time. And they transfer with them, they float, set their hooks, control them, and choke them out. So they're allowed to do everything within a jiu-jitsu rule set, and the bully is allowed to do everything in a bully skill set. It's not that I'm rigging these fights I mean, I get so many just off the wall comments about what people think. I've been doing these drills for 22 years and never had an injury, never had a concussion. Like I said, busted nose, busted lip, that's part of the game. You can get that rolling. You know, you can get that playing basketball. So there is no danger of a concussion. There is no danger of the kids getting brain damage. There is definitely a softer generation out here. These parents that, oh my God, I would never allow my kid to do it. My school's not for you. My school is not for you. There's a Taekwondo touch fighting school on every corner. My school, like 90% of my comments is for people that want their kids to learn how to use self-defense. 98% of the jiu-jitsu schools in the world these days teach no self-defense. They teach point and sport fighting. They never practice with somebody trying to punch them in the face. If you're not practicing jiu-jitsu with somebody trying to punch you in the face, you are not doing self-defense. You are doing a sport with an agreed upon rule set. Nobody's trying to beat you up. It's not a fight. It's a jiu-jitsu match. In the bully beatdowns, one kid is allowed to beat the other kid till they tap, cry, quit. The fail-all, end-all safe part, the safest thing about it is that they have professional supervision. I've been doing martial arts for 40 years. I've been a black belt for 30 years in judo. And I've got 24 years of experience in running my school. 24 years of doing this. So there's nothing anybody's going to say is going to change my mind. I mean, I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for a long time. So if I don't like what I see, I start out with 2 younger kids, white belt, I'm very on it. I stop it. I don't post a lot of those videos because they catch so much heat and criticism because they don't, oh, that kid drops his head or that kid explodes. Yeah, they don't know what they're doing yet. They're learning. And at the end of every class, we do challenge matches. And I say, who wants to do a bully beatdown? And the kids raise their hand. And even kids that aren't ready, I let them get up there. But I'm very on top. If they get hit, if I feel like they don't have the skills to protect themselves, or even just get the kid down, I don't post those videos. It's not because I'm hiding it. It's just, it opens up for too much criticism. If a kid successfully gets out there, defends himself from the striker, gets the takedown, even if there's struggle, even if it's a hard match, even if they get hit a lot, and they're able to finish it and win, we post those videos to show what we do. So I hope that answers all your questions. I'm sure I left something out. I'll rebuttal with a video if you have a comment. But the whole purpose is I'm there to safely allow our kids to get in fights without being hurt out on the street. We safely orchestrate a fight between a bully and a jiu-jitsu player. You can't tell me there's many jiu-jitsu schools in the countries that do this. They don't. There's no schools that allow one kid to just come in and go to work on another kid, and that kid has to use his skill sets. It's always put in a parameter of they have to do the same thing, equal training. You know, one high-level jiu-jitsu kid and a low-level jiu-jitsu kid, that's not much of a match. You know, I'll put a higher-level bully, an older bully, a bigger bully, and that bully's job is to go out there and beat up my jiu-jitsu player until I tell him to stop. And I will tell him to stop before anybody gets hurt. I'm on it. Then we switch. We put the gloves on the other person. So that person gets their crack at this guy, okay, or girl. And I do bigger, smaller, guy, girl. It all depends on the levels as they progress. So if you got any more questions, keep your negative comments to yourself. I really don't care. I mean, I'm just going to block you off my page. But if you've got questions about what we do and you present it in a positive way, I'll get back to you, man. I'll make a video and I'll reply to you. Hope this helps you out. Again, Justin Rose of Bushido Mixed Martial Arts, explaining our bully beatdowns. Doing a little edit. I guess I've left a few things out when I think about it. So the thing I wanted to tell you is that one of the common questions is, why does only one kid have gloves on? Like I said, one kid is the bully. One kid is the bully. One kid is the jiu-jitsu player. It is also not an MMA fight. I get a lot, why don't you put gloves on both of them, make it a fair fight? First of all, bully situations are not fair. Bully's usually bigger, stronger, meaner, tougher. And so it's not fair. But my jiu-jitsu guy usually wins most of the time. So that's the way we run it. We put gloves on one kid, they run it, and I'm there to stop it. We go. The other thing that I like to throw in there is no parent or anybody is allowed to encourage or root for the bully. The bully's the bad guy in our school. We root for the other kid, no matter what. We're always rooting for the kid that's got no gloves on. You'll hear me rooting for and encouraging the bully. That's just to get them to do their job. It's very hard when you got kids that come in here and make friends and they bond, and then you get them up here and you go, hey, you know, I need you to punch him in the face. If they're not like that type of kid, you know, most of my kids are not. They're not MMA type of kids. We have those kids, but they don't want to get up there and punch somebody in the face. So I have to kind of go, get them, go, you know, and I'm encouraging them, and I encourage them to get them to do their job, because without good and aggressive bullies, we don't have good training to train our jiu-jitsu players. So that's where you hear me rooting for the bully. And like I said, it's always voluntary. The kids always raise their hand for this. No one's forced to do it, and they love it. They raise their hands every night. I got kids that'll have a bad night. They'll call out a match that they couldn't handle. They'll lose that match. The very next class, they're raising their hand to do it again because they want to continue improving. When I got high-level kids, yellow belt, orange belt, I'll go up 30, 40 pounds in weight. I'll go up a couple years in age. I have some videos posted on my page that I was running a green belt test for some kids, and I pulled adults off the adult mat just so that they had big opponents. You would not believe how many internet tough guys came on here and talked smack about that. It's just unbelievable. But like I said, the goal is to teach our kids how to use their jiu-jitsu skills against an aggressor, an attacker, a bully that is actually trying to punch them. So hope that helps you understand what you're watching. Thanks.